record on this computer so I can upload this to YouTube after. Okay, so we're being recorded. And let's start out. Yeah, I'm just going to do a social post of the day. And I might kind of make this up as I go. But the idea here is, as you guys know, interest rates look like they're going up a little bit, right? Everybody who was on, chat in if you knew that or don't, but it looks like our buddy Uncle Jerome wants to raise interest rates. So what does that mean for real estate? Well, it could mean something like mortgage rates go up and then the market softens. So whenever something like this is going on, I like to talk about the ability to report this to our sphere of influence, to our database, as a reason why they might want to think about selling. So I'm just going to kind of riff on a social post. I'll just put it on my own Facebook, and this is something you guys might be able to do now, and also something that you could email out as well, right? So just do something like, looks like maybe the Federal Reserve is about to raise interest rates a few times in 2022. This could mean that mortgage rates come up. I think they already are, right, guys? They already have. They've already started. I think it came up like 0.5% or something like that, right?
They're creeping.
What this means for the here, we need to be careful. So I'll say nobody knows for sure, but this might mean that the real estate market softens, right? And there's a chance values start coming down. So, right? So we're like, what we're doing is we're kind of like telling a little bit of a story, right? We're using a current event, telling a story. So if you've thought about selling your Pinellas County, right? Just insert your area home. This might be good timing. Again, nobody can see the future or accurately all the top, but a lot of homeowners might be thinking about taking profits, right? Taking profits now before things start going the other way. So I don't know. That's where I'm going at, Lisa. Let's get a funny meme, right?
Yeah, and I think, can you show people how to create one of those real quick? I mean, I know you kind of walk through it, but there's been some people asking like, well, how the heck do I make a meme? And what do we do with this?
Okay, yeah. So let's do that. Let's just make one. We'll get one. Here's our buddy here. I'll just save it as Jerome.
Why so serious, man?
Uncle Jerome. And then yeah, the site that I use, and I haven't built one of these in a while, but I think it's Meme Generator from ImageFlip is one that I've used before. There's lots of these things. So I'll drop the link in the chat. And we'll get to your questions, guys. We see a few over there. And then what I would do is I can upload an image. So I guess I would, oh, this looks different. Wait a minute. I don't want to use this one. I want to use my own. Let's see. Why?
Add image.
Oh, it's just upload new template right there.
Yeah.
The template word was throwing me off a bit. Where is he at? Where's our buddy? Okay, upload. There he is. And then interest rates up. I might. How about this? I'm gonna tank your house value. I don't know, something like that. I don't know if that's a good one.
I'm gonna tank your house value.
Uncle Jerome says house value.
Hold on to your
interest rates up, house values down. I don't know. I'm trying to do this on the spot. It's hard to be very creative on the
I
spot.
know, I know. But,
So,
but people can kind of get the idea that you can just jump in here and create something pretty quickly to speak to whatever's happening right now, because you're taking advantage of what's happening right now in the news and looping that into your business, right?
yep. And
Kind
then
of bringing that, yeah.
And then a little pro tip, they have this, like, if you save the meme, it puts the image flip watermark on it. And I've had the paid account here when I was making a lot of these, but I think I let it lapse. But if you screenshot this, you don't, it doesn't have the watermark. So I kind of cheated and I just screenshotted it and then I right click and paste.
That's creative appropriation.
Yeah.
That is.
Now, tying this in further, so we've got the post and there's not really a call to action in here yet. Good form with all this stuff whenever we're marketing is to have some kind of call to action. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add something. I'm going to say, if you'd like a free 20+ page report that shows what your Pinellas property might sell for in today's market. And then we're going to do text, and then let's bring up our KV core here, and we'll go.
So a 20-pager, huh?
Yeah, whatever. It was going to be 20 pages. Well, I'll find 20 pages.
Yeah, I know.
And then we'll go to lead engine, and then we'll do call and text capture. And I've already got one of these created for my home value report right here. So it's text home value report.
Mm-hmm.
Text. I copied the number because I always forget it. Home value report 2, and then that's our smart number right here, which make it look a little cleaner. I could also, of course, use a URL directly, right? Or visit, and then I can just send it to my sell page if I want. Forever. realestate.com/sell.php, which is the sell page /sell.php on your site. So I'll go ahead and post this.
And could this also be something where you point people towards like the market report for the squeeze pages for a specific area?
For sure. So yeah, the call to action, that would be another possible. Say, hey, to get a complete market report on what things are selling for now, and you could send them to, as Annalise is saying, to the market report squeeze, right?
Yeah.
So if I go to build squeeze here, we could build a market report squeeze, we could build a seller squeeze.
Mm-hmm. And then just build a template for all of them that you can just have out there.
Yeah, I probably should have used the seller squeeze. Like I should have said Jerome, do Facebook as the post. Jerome home value report. I could do Facebook Jerome.
So right now you're building a seller squeeze page to post to your Facebook business page.
Yeah. What I'm doing is I'll create it, but I was saying this would be an alternate. So I'm generating the link. It'll track and add a hashtag, and I can take this short link, and in place of this, I kind of just long typed out, but it didn't have any tracking, the sell page.
Right.
I can do that. And then when you click on that, I'll show you what it looks like. So there you go. It's the same page, but it has some parameters appended that will track, basically.
Yeah, so you know exactly what they were looking at when they landed as a contact.
Yeah, you know where they came from when they come in. Yep. So yeah, so that's just a little bit of riffing from me today. I can get this stuff. I'll get it in the next level in our templates section, and I'll just, if anybody wants it, I'll just drop the script live in the chat. I don't know. You guys feel free to edit it. I kind of did off the top, but the main takeaway, I like to talk about this every now and then. A couple of key elements to recap. What's going on in the news? How can you tie it into real estate? So, economic stuff, interest rate, things the Fed's doing, that's easy. Sometimes what politicians are doing, of course, sometimes the weather could be a reason to talk about real estate. Hey, it's freezing up there in Pennsylvania today, stuff like that. If you know somebody who lives up north, why are they doing that? They should move down here. So those kinds of posts, and then just trying to make a joke and be interesting and funny because it's social, and I spelled Uncle Jerome's wrong. Jerome.
Sometimes misspellings are endearing, right? I don't know.
I'm gonna leave that because it's almost like it almost goes with the Uncle Jerome's. But But what you're trying to do is you're trying to get a little bit of virality. Again, we
Right.
talked about last week, social posting for leads. Like, this is just reminding people, yeah, Ryan's involved with real estate. So my aunts, my uncles, friends, kind of see that.
Hmm.
And then we're tying it in with a call to action to our KV Core tools.
And if it gets them to pause and read something, it's an accomplishment in itself.
Yeah. Yeah, just to stop traffic. And that's kind of what the Uncle Jerome thing is with the meme thing. So what's everybody think? Will you try this out? The similar approach? Trying to get something like this on your social a couple times a month, a week, definitely makes sense. And of course, this is a little more creative and a little more work than just taking a link, a list of properties. But this is a good sort of thing to mix in.
Yeah, it's just a nice alternate way of providing information and engagement.
Yep. So what else? What else you got? Any good questions here, Annalisa?
Yeah, there's been some great questions. I think we should probably review them because it's a good reminder of things. So Jim is asking, hey, how do I update my contacts that I've already imported with the closing dates? So that's really easy to do when you go into your Smart CRM. And are you going to share your screen there, or am I going to take it?
I can do it.
Okay.
And I'm just going to a contact, right?
Yeah, just jump into any of the contacts in there.
Yep. And it's down on, I forget if it's left or right.
You can just open up one of them. You have to open up the actual, yeah. And then once you have their timeline open, you're going to click on Profile Details up at the top left.
Ah, right.
Yep. And within this, you're going to have an Edit button. When you click on that. So at the top left, you'll see Edit.
There we go.
Scooch it up a little bit, yeah. And then on the second column, a little over halfway down, you'll see where you can edit the last closed. And that's where you'll put in that closed date. So it's in that texting and that section there. So you put in your closed date. Then you can put in the little toggle to send the house anniversary, and that'll automate the house anniversary email and or text.
Yeah.
And then you can also, while you're here, you can also think about going to your fourth column over, and the birth date for the primary person ties in, and they're going to be pulling in birth date information for the spouse as well. So if you have an admin who's going to help you put in these dates, or work Facebook to find birth dates or something, this is something they can easily spend 20 minutes a day doing, just going into that person's Facebook or saying we have it on record, just updating the automated messaging.
Yeah, so it might be a little tedious. I don't think there's a mass update for this.
No, there is not.
Is it in our imports?
Yeah, when you do your import. So if you're in a spot where you're like, oh, you know what, I just started here, I've been thinking of bringing in my previous closed, you can bring those in and you can include the close date. And it's going to automatically flow with that person. So you're good to go that way, or you can add them in one by one.
Very cool.
Yep.
Cool. What do we
and
got
then
next?
Thomas is saying, do anniversary birthday emails auto change every year, or do you have to create new ones each year? So let's take a look at those messages. They're static and the same thing unless you want to update them. So we're going to go into marketing, all marketing. So the left, okay, core all marketing. And then I think it's on the second or third line, depending on how zoomed your screen is, you'll see birthdays and anniversaries.
Yep.
And you'll pop into that. And it's important for you to take a look at this top section, because this is where you're going to determine, okay, in my database, who do I want to get this information? Do I want to send a happy birthday to everybody? Yes, we do, potentially, unless there's someone who's like, don't recognize my birthday, don't do nothing, that kind of person, then maybe you have it off. But also with your close on that other side for your house anniversaries, if you've got people that you have sold homes to and you've taken them from closed back into Sphere, and then you're moving them back up that transaction line, and they have a house anniversary happening, and then maybe you want to have all of these statuses turned on for that happy house anniversary, just depending on if they're buying again or selling again. That's just thoughtful things to have going out. Then at the bottom here, it'll show you what could go out. So when you click on like the birthday change template, you can preview it. That's the text, right?
That's my email.
Oh, that's your email. Okay. So Ryan has actually superseded the one that goes out with the templated image and created his own email, which is fine. We also have different types of birthday templates you can choose that'll actually have an image and a little quote, and it'll just fill in your name and your information.
Yeah, I changed it. When you guys click this, you'll see some default HTMLs in there.
Yeah. Did you change the home one too?
Not sure. Let me check.
Okay.
Yeah, and this one, my text is just happy birthday name. I figure that's good.
Yep.
And I just reply back and say thank you. Right.
Yes.
And then no, so here's an example of the home anniversary HTML one. And then the text.
Yeah, and then there's like a little picture of a house, the key above it and everything.
Yeah. Is my screen delayed for you?
It is very much so.
I wonder if
there's been
like
a weird thing happening with Zoom in the last couple of days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's been some really weird jigs and jags.
I see. So yeah, sorry to everybody watching if that's happening, but I'm kind of doing this in real time, and it feels like Annalisa at least is seeing it like 30 seconds later, 5 seconds later. Yep.
Yes, okay. I am.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, we'll do our best.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Yeah, let me backtrack up here. Stephen was asking, hey, how do we add in merge tags into texts? So let's go ahead and cover how to add them in email and text. So all I have to do is just jump into a contact or onto the Smart CRM. We just have to find a contact in here.
Just getting loaded up here.
Oh, I know. It's that wonderful slight delay.
Yeah. And then we're going to send a text.
Well, this person doesn't have an email, so we can do our phone number. So we could do an email here.
All right, let me find a better contact.
Yeah.
I think I have a. Let's see if this Joker's in here.
He's everywhere.
Do I have phone? I'm looking for. I should see a phone.
Brian, there. Look at the fifth one down, sixth one down.
Yep, this is good. This one. Yeah. Okay.
He's bona fide in this one. Yep. Okay. So if you're going to text, of course, you can just click send text on the upper right. And what you'll do is you'll use the shift bracket, and that's shift, and it's the bracket is right next to the capital or the P on your keyboard at the top right. When you use shift bracket, it opens up the curly bracket, and then you can choose what you want to drop in there, whether it's the lead first name, your phone number, your web address, what have you. So if you're going to do say again?
Yeah, I was just doing it a second time where at the end I'm putting my name in.
Oh yeah. So this is really handy, especially if you're going to create texts that are calls to action that you're going to put into a campaign. That way, when it blankets out to a whole bunch of people at different times, it's always going to pull their name and your name or whatever information you want to share there.
Yeah, you can do the same thing when you're creating templates and smart campaigns, the same bracket trick for the merge tag.
Yep, for texting. So texting is always the shift bracket to get the curly bracket menu of those merge tags. If we're in email, like the basic email, there's like a little icon that you can click.
So this guy right here.
Well, we're not quite there yet, but I think it's going to be right there. Yeah.
That is so yes, weird. Yeah.
I know. Are you in the future? I think you are. Yeah. So what you do is you click on that little sun icon, and then it gives you that same type of menu for the email. Now it is a little different in the advanced editor again. So if you click into advanced on the top left there. So let's say you want to add images, you want to add a core video or something into this, and you want to have a really nice newsletter type feel. When you pull that text box over to add your text and click into it, it'll actually say merge tags on that second line. So there's 3 different ways. You've got your texting, which is your shift bracket to get the curly bracket. You've got the little sun icon on the basic email, and then on this one it actually says merge tags. Excellent. But that's how you can add in all those little shortcuts. You don't have to worry about typing them again and again. All right, let's see here. What do we else we got, y'all? Oh, Angela had a great question. How are spouses handled in KV Core? Are emails and texts sent out automatically to a spouse as well as the main contact? So currently, when we're looking at this record here, like for Ryan, it's going to be the information is going to be sent out to that primary email address that he has on his timeline or on his profile. Now, you can also go into alerts at this time, which is that third column at the top.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Oh boy, I accidentally got myself out. We'll just go to any other contact here.
Yeah, you're fine.
And I'll go to alerts up top.
Yeah. So you can either hit alerts on the top left or on the far right-hand side, but at the very bottom of here, this is where you can add in a carbon copy if you want someone else to get a copy of those alerts this time. Right now, they're working at making a connection in so you can say, yes, both of these emails that are associated with this account, like the primary, secondary, or spouse information can be copied, but that's coming. There's no definitive date, but it's being worked on.
It's pretty soon. I think it's in the next month or so. From what I've heard, I'm not 100% sure. It's on coming down the pike. But for now, yeah, the email CC, and otherwise you kind of just treat them as separate contacts, right? Otherwise,
yeah. And if you've got someone who's like, they're like, oh no, we only log into this one because we accidentally created this other account because we forgot our password or wherever, you can merge profiles together and have like the primary one absorb the secondary one. And now there was another question from Roland saying, hey, I'd like to see how to create a list power analysis for a seller. So that's really just a new phrase for a CMA.
That's a Brian Hoylman phrase.
But I think it sounds a little more powerful.
Yeah. So you're going to use any CMA tool that you have. If you happen to have access to Core Present or the Dash CMA, which are our products, you can do that. You can use Cloud CMA, but that's where you're seeing that term. It might have been from Brian Hoylman. The context might be nosy neighbor, I assume.
I'm guessing, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically just a CMA.
And it just sounds really like important though.
Yeah, it sounds official. So you know, with Dash CMA or Core Present, I happen to have Dash, not Core Present. You know, you can kind of walk through their wizard and build out something really cool. Definitely check out Core Present, guys, or Dash if you do need a presentation tool. They're really cool.
Yeah, I would say Dash CMA, Core Present, like Dash CMA is like the banana sundae anyway. I mean, it's amazing. But then the whole Core Present brings in a whole other slew and suite of tools that you can use to create buyer and seller presentations. And you can also identify, like, am I newer? Am I an intermediate agent? Am I an expert agent? Am I speaking to my audience that is traditional, modern, or luxury? So it gives you the ability to create customized presentations, also customize your branding. And part of the Core Present is Dash CMA, which is what Ryan's showing you right here. And what I love about this is you can actually add in outlier things that might be unique to a property to bring value to it. So there's a lot you can do here. It's also really interactive, and you can tell when people opened it, how long they looked at it, send updates. It's pretty freaking amazing. And it was up for, Core Present was up for like, they were within the top 5 companies of the year with Inman. I mean, that was like one of the top 5 products recognized at Inman last year.
Yeah.
It's huge.
So very cool stuff. Yeah. Yep. So your list power analysis, I mean, the other thing you can do is you can do an RPR, you can generate, you know, a report with recent sales from your MLS, but that's pretty much it. Yep.
Let's see here. Glenda's saying, I'm wanting that U.S. holiday campaign that enters them all on my drip at once. Yeah, I'm working on that, Glenda. It's one of my works in progress, and I'll make sure we get that out to everybody. And let's see here. And Angela's saying, hey, does the picture change every year in the birthday email? It will not. So if you want to vary up your message, you can create your own template and then insert it in for that message so your new message goes out.
Yeah.
And then, go ahead.
Yeah, just changing that template changes it for everybody. But, you know, you put an appointment on your calendar to change it once a year or something.
Yeah. Right. Let's see here. And then Anthony's saying, can you put the first day merge code in the email subject line? I haven't seen it work in a subject. Have you heard anything about that, Ryan?
No, I don't think that works yet.
I don't think it picks up. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And
It's a
how
good
do we
idea, though.
add an image to a text message? So out of the box, KV Core does basic text only. So what is it, SMS?
Right.
So it doesn't have the MMS, which is multimedia messaging, basically.
Yeah.
You can send a video via text with KV Core if you're using the Core Video powered by BombBomb. That gives you the ability to, on the fly, drop a video into a text that you can tape, good grief, you can record, at a property. Maybe you're walking through it for someone or taking information down for people and sending them a quick little overview. Maybe you're going to go over a market report and say, hey, Ryan, this is your market report for St. Pete. Here's a few top hits. Go ahead and click this link to learn more about the marketplace. You could build in really quick messages. You can also build templates and drop them into your campaigns. So you can't really send an image because we're not set up to do that with KV Core, but you can send a video via Core Video powered by BombBomb. Someone's asking, hey, for Core Present, is that a broker? Yes. So
Yeah.
Core Present would be something like if you're interested in it and you're like, look, we should really consider getting this because of the power that it has, XYZ. You would talk to your broker owner and request that they talk with their account manager about adding it.
Yep. There was a question about
right.
boosting the Uncle Jerome post. That's definitely, you definitely could make that a paid ad for sure. The only difference is you would put it on your business page, not your personal profile the way I did. And then you would just either click the boost button or you can run it as an engagement objective. But for sure, yeah, that could be an ad.
Yep. And then Thomas is saying you can copy paste the merge tag into an email subject line. I don't think it actually pulls the information, Thomas. I think that's the problem. It doesn't do that yet.
Yeah.
And Diva is saying, hey, is KV Core available to all realtors? Yes. And Angela saying, hey, how do I print address labels? So really cool thing about this is if you have your Avery, what is it, 5150s, 5160s, something like that.
60, yeah.
But if you go in and you've created your smart CRM filter or you have your list of people that you want to print out with, you can just choose them all, click more actions, and then print address labels at the bottom. And then it's going to export that information out so you can roll her out. And Sally's saying, hey, is Dash CMA included with the basic subscription? No. So currently, well, actually, hold on. If you're buying KV Core as like your own broker team, not affiliated with like a large enterprise, right? Like your own boutique, you're going to get everything out of the box. It's going to include your sell tab on the front side of your site and your seller squeeze links that you can create to track different types of people, signing up for CMA. You can also create landing pages and so forth. So that uses our built-in CMA. You can also opt in for Dash CMA and or Core Present as add-ons to KV Core when it is brought on board or discussed at a later date between the account manager and the broker owner.
Yeah, so Dash CMA, everybody can order from the marketplace, and then Core Present is a brokerage level purchase for the entire team.
Yeah. And then how to export contacts from KV Core. Same way you would do it for your mailing list. You would identify who you want to export, or if it's the whole thing, you would just choose everybody. And then you would go to your more actions and then export. And then it's going to send you a link to a file right to your email address, and then you'll be able to open up that file. I'm just watching for more questions. How do you get rid of duplicates in the CRM? So if you have duplicates and you can merge them in with other folks. So like if you wanted to, what you doing, Ryan?
I was trying to merge. I forgot how to do it.
Oh, okay. Well, first you put on your signal and then you up. Yep. So first what you're going to need is the email address of the one you don't want to have as the primary. So whatever one you're going to absorb into the other one, we need to find that email first. or the name of that person.
Do you search for that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So is that the email address that we want to absorb into another?
Yeah, it doesn't matter either way. Yep.
Okay, well, you can just, so let's just say that's the one that we want to absorb into something else.
Yep.
So you can click into that person.
Okay.
On the far right, you have your more actions. This is like your communication hub, what's going to be happening with the accounts. The far right, you got more actions. Then you can click on merge contact. Now with his, it's actually grayed out because he's not the owner.
Ah, okay.
So what you'll want to do is you would actually, and she's like, how can I search for all the people who are duplicated? I don't believe there's like a way. I mean,
Yeah.
the only thing you could do would you put in like the name Ryan and then see how many popped up. But there's really not a way to say, I'm looking for this name and everything associated. There's really not a way to connect all those because the system won't know they're connected until you merge them.
But yeah, you would merge from here. I think I have a bunch of contacts in here that came from, let me see, the brokerage level accounts that are not showing as me.
And Steven's asking, hey, is there a KV Core guru around me in St. Louis that you know of that I can meet up with and learn from? So currently we do have Zoom coaching available, and I can connect you with someone to discuss in-person training. There would be airfare and hotel accommodation, all that to be arranged for. But right now in the marketplace, you can do an hour of coaching with me for $100. We also have done for you services with Heather Bowden, who is also an amazing coach, but she focuses more on like, do I need to have blogs written for me and how often? Do I need to have newsletters written for me? Do I need different smart campaigns created or specific pay per click? She does coaching as well, but she does a lot of done for you things that we're working into, and I'm learning those as well. But I would say, you know, the done for you success services is great. You would have a consultation with her on what you're seeking. So it wouldn't be really coaching the first time you spoke with her. It'd be like, this is my vision. This is what I want to execute. How much does that cost? And then if you want someone to get kind of deep into the nitty gritty of KV Core with you and the tools within, that would probably be most likely me with the one-on-one coaching.
Yep. Otherwise, the Facebook group, if you want to find somebody local, you can always post in there. Say, hey, anybody in St. Louis, you know,
Yep.
you want to create like a little local mastermind or meetup around KV Core.
And if you want to learn more about this, I mean, basically you go to the tile on the dashboard and you can read about the services within. And then if you have further questions, just drop me a line. I'll just add my email into the chat for everyone. And I'd be happy to send you information. Angela is saying, will the system know when a new lead comes in, let's say from Zillow, that I already have that person in the CRM? The system will know if the email address matches the other one.
And it'll append the hashtags and everything else coming in from Zillow, right?
Yeah. So it'll bring in whatever's coming with Zillow that's new for that existing contact, if the emails match up. If they don't, then it becomes a new contact.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good questions, guys. That was good rapid fire Q&A.
I know
today.
that was kind of what happened yesterday with the hashtags. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, hold on, let me get these rapid fires taken care of.
Yeah.
Trying to think of anything other that was kind of, oh, you know what? I always want to make sure people are aware to go into Web and IDX and then settings.
Okay.
Once you're in here, I would like everyone to go in at some point today and click on listings. So you're going to go Web and IDX, settings, and then listings. At the bottom, you may or may not be aware that you can affect what type of listings show up on your website. And at the very bottom of this section, you've got your popular options, which allows you to add in filters from your MLS. So if accessibility is something you want to have on there, maybe people need a handicapped railing or whatever that is. You know, you want to be inclusive on people looking for homes, so maybe you add accessibility to your site. Maybe you add in appliances, or some people will need to know if it's a fenced yard or if it's not. So, think about what's important and people ask you about regularly that might not be a normal filter per se, but something like blanketed, like a nationwide, but maybe more normal for your area. Make sure to drop that popular option in here, because when you go to the website, Ryan, could you open up your domain, please?
Sure.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
So when you go in there and click on like more options or search, that foot picture. And you look at the bottom of this section, you see where it has all of his additional ones in here, like private pool levels, all that good stuff. So when you add those in, it adds the selections in right here for your people visiting your site. So it's just a handy way to just apply that added information.
Cool. Yeah.
And
That's a good
then,
one.
yeah, and then Angela's saying, hey, how do you handle sellers who have moved out of state?
Absentees.
I mean, absentee owners use thanks.io for some postcard action. Use their absentee owner campaigns with KV Core, voicemail drops. Maybe you send them information, are they going to have friends moving here? Just because they moved out of state doesn't mean they're not referrals anymore.
Yeah. So if there were a seller of yours and they've moved and you know them already, it's a little bit of a warmer one-to-one. But if you're doing kind of an absentee campaign and you're getting a bunch of
separately
data from Remine or some other source, that definitely mail has worked for me there in the past. Like, hey, I noticed you have a property here. If you're at all interested, I might have an investor or a buyer. Give me a call, let me know. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And the numbers are going to work because there's a lot of stress associated with owning a property out of state.
Yep. Yeah.
So also,
and that might even be something where you send them, if they are the owners, you set them up on a monthly market report for that area.
Yeah. You could also take that angle. You could also, instead of the direct, hey, are you thinking of selling? It's like, would you be interested in a report? Would you be interested in property management? So your mailer could actually offer any of three options. Hey, I specialize in servicing people who live out of town and own a property in Pinellas County, Florida. Here's three good options, ways that I can serve you. Option one, learn about our property management services. Option two, see how much your house could sell for today. Option three, sell your house tomorrow.
Or maybe throw a refi offer in there with your lender.
Oh,
or
yeah,
like just to know, because that's another angle you could work with your lender. If maybe you go in with a refi option, they help foot the bill.
Refi madness. I've been meaning to buy
refi madness. It's like a Sunday.
We're past minute 35, so I'm allowed to go all ADD. Is refi madness? I think that'd be an awesome name for a lender focused.
It's gonna be my next band name.
Yeah, but somebody's got it. Refi madness.
And it looks like Thomas has raised his hand. I'm gonna unmute Thomas, see what he has to say. So Thomas, what's up?
Thank you. I have a question about smart plans.
Mm-hmm.
So I've noticed the smart plans that are provided in KV Core are, how do I put this, not very robust, but it got me thinking, has there been any studies to your knowledge as to what the content of smart plans should be, or does it matter, or, is simpler better, or these big ones with HTMLs and monthly newsletters, yada, 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 is
right.
It made me wonder that it seems like simple seems to be, just get straight to the point might actually be better, but I don't know. Do you know of any studies that have said there's better?
Yeah, so my whole take on our campaigns out of the box is they're all very solid and they're always reviewed. And they look at them for opportunities to improve engagement. Now, in saying that, the majority of the messaging on our default campaigns are similar to the formula that I have seen work with our flagship and now retired conversion. So we took the legs of some of the campaigns from conversion and built upon them within KV Core, adding in also reminders to call, follow up on a task, and so forth. Now, with these, they all have three things in common. They're all fairly short and sweet. they all have some type of an ask or an ingratiating things happening where you're like, it's like an ask to have somebody respond back to you. So there's a call to action within it. And they appear like you wrote a quick message out. So we try to have them appear organic. And I've seen these work really, really well as a whole over the last, how long have I known you, Ryan? 6, 7 years now? They're
Yeah.
pretty solid campaigns. So I'd say, if anything, you can always use the basis of any of the campaigns we've created, but then go in and add something in, like, your Pinellas Realtor, my expertise in this much. So you can add in and pepper in like things that show your community, knowledge and expertise, but maybe not move away from the formula we've created. That would be
Yeah,
my advice.
Yeah, and if I can add, I have strong opinions around this idea of a conversation starting campaign.
I love this campaign. Yes.
Yeah, I dropped a link in the chat there, and I'll show you guys an example of one. But this way of approaching things does work. This particular one you're looking at here has a 32% response rate on the initial text. So as Annalisa just mentioned, something like, "Hi, thanks for doing what you were just doing just now." So whatever the context is for the lead, and then an open-ended question. And in this case, we're just asking if they already live or in the area, or if they're thinking about a second home. Little pro tip here. You'll notice in the text, I put stop. It looks like a typo. Stop dash PING. It's an intentional typo because by putting the word stop in there, it kills the unsubscribe language in that first text. It keeps us TCPA compliant. So that actually ups the conversion rates and reduces the unsubscribes. So, but moving on with the conversation starter, initial text, initial email, giving them the thing that they asked for.
Yeah, and the cool thing about these is, like, once you create one of these for one thing, then you can clone it, rename it, have a different hashtag kick it off, change up a couple of messages on a template, and then you can just keep reusing that same formula again, just tweaking it here and there.
Yeah. So watch that webinar. Yeah, go ahead.
I actually took your conversation starter a couple weeks ago, so I'm already using that one.
Awesome, that's great.
Are you getting replies, or how's the initial text doing?
So I have not. Well, actually, I got one. It said stop, but I understand it's a numbers game, so I need to get more leads. I used the property boost to get. I think I got maybe 15 leads off of the property boost.
Nice.
So it's just going to take getting more numbers to get it up there to be able to tell.
And after 15, I mean, that is a small sample size, but if you're not getting, say, at least 1 in 10 or 1 in 5 to reply, then that's a good time to go and change at least the first text and try to play with that.
Sounds great.
A couple of variations of that. Eventually, you'll get to a point where it's converting pretty well for you.
And I think we kind of mentioned this yesterday when we were talking to hashtags. Like when we're looking at the hashtag that you have attached to, like, the property boost or the waterfront homes or whatever it is, you can use that same tag to kick off listing alerts for homes in a similar area of that property boost. So, you can think globally about the hashtag and how you're going to use it, as well as how it's going to kick off messaging. And Patricia's saying, what's the link to the conversation starter? The YouTube link that Ryan just posted right above. And then if you want to find it in your KV Core dashboard, you're going to go into Marketing Smart Campaigns. And then KV Core Library. And just like word search KO or CONV. I'm so used to spelling things with a K now. That's really ridiculous. But you can put in that keyword and then just click add to my library, and it pulls a blank copy in for you.
Yeah.
And then you can look at that, and then you can adjust the templates within and replace them, and all that fun stuff.
But yeah, to answer that question, I mean, short, sweet campaigns, as Annalisa said, I'm more of a fan, these little short conversation starters, of making sure that the alerts are set up and emails are going out with property info, and then try to send something cool every week, something unique and interesting, and that'll function as a nice drip campaign, even though it requires you to do a little work every week.
And I think it's just something as simple as looking at how you can empower your contacts on your own website, whether that's reminding them to click the heart to save the property on the image. That way they'll automatically be told when it goes off market or gets reduced. You don't have to watch for that for them. Also, if they are using your website more and more, you'll see them start showing up on your own dashboard activity stream as a hot lead. So as you empower your folks to create their own alerts on top of what you're creating for them, if they just click on their name on the website, they can do that. They can have a saved list. They can create a market report all on their own, or you can send them links to your site to get a market report, or just opt them in for one. And as part of your email saying, hey, I've set you up for a market report in this zip code, this city, this area, whatever. Just expect to see that every month because you need to be apprised of what's happening in the market. So there's all sorts of ways you can frame it to where you just want them to be able to search safely and have free reign of all of this information, and you're there to help them.
I love that idea of giving little tutorials about how to use the website. And then as you were saying that, I'm thinking, well, maybe I can integrate that and do little short videos with BombBomb.
Exactly.
And send that to them to kind of show them how to do it, just to get them to keep coming back to the website.
Yes. And ultimately it benefits you because you'll see everything they're doing. So it's everything. Like I always compare KV Core to like the Land of Oz, because all of these little yellow brick roads, whether it's leads coming in and interacting or people going to your site to look at properties, everything leads back to you, the agent, the company, the team, the admin, whatever hierarchy it is, but it always leads right back to you.
Cool.
Angela's asking, do you suggest your own dedicated smart number?
If you're
what do you
marketing
think, Ryan?
Well,
Yeah, I was going to say, if it's part of your marketing suite, absolutely.
So if you're advertising that, if you need a number to advertise for people to call you, or you're putting it a lot of places offline for people to see, there's a chance that somebody calls that number. If you're using the office, that it routes to somebody else on your team because it'll follow routing rules. So if you're heavily using it, then it starts to make a lot of sense. If you're just doing one-off text call to action, text codes, then maybe you don't need it yet, but eventually you might if you're advertising it a lot.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at building like your branding suite and you're going in and investing in your own URLs, like vanity domains, and pointing them to your site for, like Angela knows, I don't know where you work out of, Angela, so forgive me, like Angela knows Albuquerque, or Angela knows New Mexico, or whatever it is, you can, New Jersey, thank you. Would it be Westchester maybe? I don't know. But, this is where you could have that dedicated line to match with your own branding in that case. And then is there a number max of emails and texts per month that you can send? There's not really a number that caps out, but there are optimal ways to send out things en masse. Whether it's like a newsletter, like an advanced email where you can schedule them out, or if it's going to be like a mass email or mass text on your smart CRM. So there's ways you can measure that and send out different types of en masse communication.
But there's limits for like one at a time. But there's no set cap on a monthly, like a total.
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Yeah.
Patricia, I'm getting lots of spam texts on the phone I use for business. Will the paid phones stop that? So it's not going to. I mean, sadly, you've got hackers out there, and there's all of these new scams that are coming out again. With that type of thing. I mean, the only thing I could say from like your own protection, flipping the script on this, is all of you should go to calltransparency.com and register your business phone so you are not recognized as spam. I don't really have an answer for you on how the smart number could potentially stop the scams, because it just, the bad guys keep getting better at being bad, I guess. That makes sense. So they keep unraveling how to get around that. But for all of you, you should go to calltransparency.com and register your phone numbers.
So Annalisa, I think
we're good.
Terry's asking about removing that wording to unsubscribe. Yeah, the way you do that is you put a stop word in the body of that first text. So we have an article about that. If you look for TCPA in our help docs, there's like 7 words you can use, and that's why I do stopping, and I put stop with a space, and that'll remove the unsubscribe language. And then Angela, that would be a forward that you can probably set up with your company email. You would just I'm pretty sure your company has workspace, right? Like Gmail, and you just want to forward it to your personal Gmail. That's something you can do native to Gmail, but it's outside of KV Core. Annalisa, I actually have a commitment coming up pretty soon at the top of the hour.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking well, we can call it a day today. Great questions, guys. We'll
It
get
was
the
a really good potpourri.
yeah, good potpourri. Try the Uncle Jerome post or something like it in your own words. See, let us know how it goes. And then we'll be back tomorrow. I think tomorrow, Natalie, so I've been getting requests. We're just going to do one of our kind of marketplace deep dives
Sure.
to just run through. We try to do one of these once a month where we just run through all the done for you advertising options at length and do a
Yeah.
little Q&A. So if anybody's curious about like our Facebook or Google ads and things like that, I'll be on at this time tomorrow, maybe joined by you, Natalie, so if you can make it. And we'll
Yeah,
talk.
well, no, I'll be here. And the thing that the thing that I've been talking to with the majority of people about in coaching, like since the new year hit or end of last year, is they're like, look, I'm not going to have time to make a lot of calls. So basically, we're talking about looping in video plus voicemail drop into campaigns so people can be out driving to the four winds of their counties while the system works for them. So we should probably hit on that. And with
Yep.
that, I got to go.
Let's call it a day. All right.
All right.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.